Murderball. Now, this was a real unexpected treat for me. Murderball is a documentary about a sport which, in its initial phase, was referred to as Murderball, although as one of its key protagonists, key players, points out, it didn't turn out to be a very marketable title, so they had to retitle it, and it's now referred to as either quad rugby or wheelchair rugby. It's played by people with quadriplegia in these wheelchairs, which have basically been redesigned to look like something out of Mad Max.
I've seen them play it at the Paralympics.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, it is...
I think Murderball's a great name.
Well, because Murderball actually pretty much sums up what it's like out there on the court. It is a sport played by, you know, guys who are really intense and really fantastically fit and really have one goal, which is to win. And one of the things that the documentary does, actually, before I do this, let's quickly play you a clip of somebody describing how Murderball works.
The objective basically is to inbound the ball. We play on a regulation basketball court. You go from one end to the other end.
Stop the ball! Stop the ball! Stop the ball! Stop the ball!
Two wheels have to cross over the line with possession of the ball, and you get 1 point. The other guys stop you by slamming their chair into you.
Help him! Dave! Dave! Help him!
You have to dribble the ball or pass to a teammate once every 10 seconds. But other than that, it's basically kill the man with the ball.
Hence Murderball.
Yeah.
And, well, for a start, clearly it's the best sports movie of the year by some distance. I mean, it is really, really riveting stuff. One of the brilliant things about the way that the film is constructed, however, is it has at the centre of it this extraordinary rivalry between the Americans and the Canadians. And what happens before the film starts is that one of the guys who was a key American player was cross about not being chosen for the American team, and then he deserted and went to become the Canadian coach. And so the Canadians and the Americans have this great big grudge match going on, with the Canadians being coached by the guy who was the American star and then went over, and literally the gloves are off. There are no holds barred in the ways in which these guys tell each other exactly what it's like, how does it feel to betray your country, and, you know, how dare you, and it's real kind of in your face confrontation. It is like a gladiatorial sport. There are also within that, MTV are involved in the documentary, which I have to say is, it's very, very insightful but really rip-roaringly entertaining. It reminded me to some extent of, there's a really good film called The Water Dance, directed by Neil Jimenez, which is that its three heroes are all in wheelchairs, but it's not about the wheelchairs, it's about them as men and them as very kind of, you know, macho guys with macho relationship problems, and that's what it's about. Well, this is about that. I mean, these guys are more jock-like than the most intense, full-on contact sport players, and they really take this seriously, and they really take their rivalry seriously. And the central character, this guy who kind of deserts the Americans to go off to coach the Canadians, he has, at the beginning of the film, these real relationship problems with his son, who's basically likes playing the violin and is a little bit kind of, you know, academic. And the father really does not understand the son until halfway through the film he has a heart attack. And then he gets better, and he has this kind of life-changing experience as a result of the heart. I mean, it's like the highs, the lows, the ups, all this nonsense that's in Elizabethtown about life-affirming drama. You want life-affirming drama, but which will kick your head in. Murderball is it.
Unfortunately,